we are at the Red Shed studio where we're at the home of Christine Hingston. Let's see what she has on show. Hi Christine.
Hi Cassie.
So how long have you been situated here at the Red Shed studio?
Tim and myself have lived in Mundaring for about 15 years now, and this studio is my second studio on the property. The first studio is an old red studio in the garden, and this one was built about a year and a half ago as my new studio. I've been painting full-time since I moved to Mundaring about 15 years ago, and I've been making my living from painting for the last 10 years. It's my sole income. So I'm a full-time painter. I paint every day.
Has it been a hard journey to get to this point in your life as a full-time painter then?
Absolutely. It's not an easy road. It really isn't. Financially, it's extremely difficult, and people tend to think that painting is something that is relaxing, and a lot of people do it as a hobby. But if you do it as a living, you come into the studio every day, and some days you really just don't. It's not inspirational, and you might work all day, and at the end of the day you go, oh, this is terrible what I've done, So there's always disappointments in what you're doing, but in the end it's what you love, and so you just keep working through that.
So what profession did you do before you became a full-time artist?
I was a designer doing children's fashion. I ran a screen print factory, and I did that for about 15 years. So it was still in the art field, but I always wanted just to paint, and so that was my love. I went to art school straight from high school. Went to Claremont Art School. I think I graduated from there in 1973, so it was a journey that I always wanted to do. But of course, I got married, had children, had to pay a mortgage, all those sorts of things. So, had to make a living in another way.
So can you show me a few of your works that you've got on display here? Yeah.
This is a commission, and that is a theme that I have visited a few times, and that is bush football, children playing football in the outback. I like to use the real sort of red tones of the bush, lots of colour. My work is very, very colourful, as you can see, and I think you would classify it as figurative landscape. So it's people, West Australians within their landscape is what I paint. There's another football piece down here that I'm still working on, and behind that is a landscape of Margaret River, based on Margaret River.
Did you work from a photograph to make that Margaret River picture?
No, I don't work from photographs. I sometimes work from sketches, and I might visit an area and take some photos of some landmarks, but I never work from photographs. Paintings just develop as paintings. They're not photographic in any way.
And do you tend to work theme by theme?
Yes. As I showed you a few minutes ago, the two football pieces that I'm working on, I will work on about 4 or 5 paintings at a time, and I tend to mix up the same palette and be working in the same colours for a few weeks. Because I'm working in oils and I do a lot of layering of colour, they have to dry in between. So that's why I've got about 4 or 5 paintings working at the same time. Sometimes paintings will take up to 4 or 5 months to finish. I might just leave them if it's not going where I want it to go, and I just turn them around so that I don't look at them, leave them a few months, get them back out and look at them and go, oh, I really like what's happening there, and then start working on them again. Oh, the shoes, it's called Obsession. And I've visited this theme several times. I have a painting in my home called Thongs, which is my own painting I've kept. But yeah, I like to paint shoes. I particularly like that painting. I've started that painting on a black canvas. I primed the canvas black and then built up the colour. And there's lots and lots of layers of colour and really thick oil paint on there. That's one of those paintings that took months and months to to finish. Sometimes with paintings like that, if they hang around in the studio, even though I've signed it and I say, yes, that's finished, I'm notorious for then like going, oh, you know, I could just do a bit more on that. And then they change again. These two paintings, Goat Girl and Tea with Rebecca, were done a couple of years ago, and they both belong to me. I haven't sold those. They're from an exhibition I had in Margaret River. And the Tea with Rebecca, that's myself, Rebecca Cool, who is a well-known artist, and Carmen McFall, and that's us having afternoon tea at Rebecca's house. The theme of the exhibition that I had in Margaret River was about the people of Margaret River. So Rebecca Cool lives in Margaret River, and I went to interview a lady who makes goat's cheese, and this was her little girl, and so I painted her. The painting on the wall here is called The Local, and it's a painting of Mundaring. So it's my interpretation, again, of Mundaring. So we have Sculpture Park and the trail that winds through the park, and then the Mundaring Hotel in the background there. This one here is Friday Night. Again, a makeup village, and it's got the drive-in theatre with all the cars there, and there's horses in the paddocks and dog on the back of the ute, etc. So again, it's an Australian theme of a